While reviewing a pen named Explorer, you would think that I would have a much easier time discovering a cold open. Well, that's obviously not the case. When it comes to this channel, I've got to admit that I am one of the worst people when it comes to looking at more budget-friendly items to write with. And this is sort of a penance for that oversight. The last time I looked at a Pilot budget option was back in the early days of the channel, when I thought I would have sponsors just throwing me stuff left and right to look at for review. So I took 4 budget pens in that video, and I just reviewed them. One of them happened to be a Pilot Metropolitan, but yeah, part of me thinks that maybe I should go back and give that pen a review of its own. I probably will at some point, but for now, we're going to look at the contemporary of that pen, the Pilot Explorer. I still think that Lamy and Kaweco are the overall winners for quick and efficient packaging, and the Pilot Explorer does not threaten that opinion. For the outer box, we have a nondescript gray with the Pilot logo in the bottom right corner. The back and the sides are blank except for an inventory marker and the retail sticker marking the model of the pen inside. In this case, it is the Explorer fountain pen in blue with a medium nib. On the inside is a pill-shaped box with a clear plastic window that gives us a view of the Pilot Care and Use Guide. We aren't going to go through that here, but it does cover all the pen filling types in the Pilot lineup. Beneath that is the Explorer resting in a foam bed with the included squeeze converter. One good thing about this pen is that not only does it give you the included squeeze converter, but you also do get a cartridge of Pilot Black as well. The fact that you have those 2 filling options means that you can use the included ink if you are so inclined, or you can pair the pen with a bottle of one of your favorite inks. And that brings us to the pen itself. Body-wise, it's a plastic pen. There really isn't much more to say on the actual material, because, well, it's just generic plastic. Color-wise, I do at least like the look of the black trim on metallic blue that they chose. And other than Pilot, etched or embossed or whatever molding process they used to make it, there's no other branding on the pen itself. That's pretty much it right there. One part, though, where I am going to count off is that when you uncap the pen, though the cap is a very satisfying friction fit pull cap, you can see the overspray here on the lip. I don't know if this was the most cost-effective way to make this pen, but I feel like they could have potentially found a way to make the pen the way they did, keep the layer consistency, and keep the price where it is, and, I don't know, use a blue resin for the pen or whatever the case may be. It just seems like an odd oversight on the quality from Pilot. Maybe it's just me. As long as you don't look at that, though, I've got to say that I really like the complementary look of the smoky clear section against the metallic blue finish. This is a really nice pairing. Moving past that, you can see the included proprietary Pilot cartridge that I primed up so I could do this review. And with that put back together, let's take a look at the final piece of this pen, which is the medium Pilot Super Quality Steel Nib. I mean, there's nothing fancy going on here, and at this price point, I'm okay with it. All that matters is if it writes out of the box and provides a nice writing experience. But yeah, we'll get to that here in a bit. For now, let's line this one up next to the Aurora Auraloid and see how it sizes up. Side by side and capped, the Explorer is 15mm longer than the Auraloid, but a full 8 grams lighter at 14 grams. Uncapped, the difference is now 5mm in the Explorer's favor, and it comes up 6 grams lighter than the Auraloid at 8 grams. The part that matters, though, is the section, and on those, the Explorer is 4mm longer at 25mm, and 1mm narrower at 9mm. I will say, though, with this concave and the flare at the end of the section, Pilot got this one right. But let's go ahead and move on to the writing sample and finish up this look. This pen is getting the Rhodia treatment this week. It's not that I think Tomoe is too good of a paper for a $20 pen, but I feel that a pen at this price point is more likely to see use on everyday papers. And let's be honest, TR is not really an everyday paper for a lot of people. I can walk into a few of the hobby shops around here and come face to face with a good selection of Rhodia dot pads in all shapes and sizes. That isn't the case for TR, or bank paper for that matter. Excuses aside though, let's talk about this writing experience. I want to get the only real negative out of the way first. This pen is unusable for me if it's posted. Because of the lightweight nature of this pen, the second the cap is put on there, it becomes back heavy and I've got to spend more time or effort reapplying pressure to the nib than actually enjoying the writing. If I leave the cap off though, then this becomes a moot point. In fact, this is a better experience than I've gotten out of a Visconti or two that were 5 to 10 times more expensive than the Pilot Explorer. So yeah, checkmate Visconti, get better quality control. Okay, coming back from that little outburst, the nib on this Explorer is smooth out of the box and is gliding across the page. I would say that it has a bit of a waxy feel to it, but in a completely good way, if that makes any sense. It's not the squeaky smooth that I've had on Rhodia before, but it's safe to say that on both Rhodia and TR, there was no tooth. I've also got to give Pilot some credit here on this included black ink. This ink is well behaved with no hard starting or skipping, and if you gave this pen to someone as an introduction to fountain pens, I think you would be handing them a good experience. And that is what matters at the end of the day. Between the nib, included converter, and well-behaved cartridge, along with this really comfortable grip section, this pen is a winner. And that does it for our look at the Pilot Explorer in blue. If you liked that video or found it useful, then hit that like button, get subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.